Welcome back to the channel. So this is flying lesson 8, and I'm going to take the controls right from the start this time and do the takeoff. So as we enter the runway, radio to standby, pump and lights on, left to right, and then once we line up on the runway we want to go straight into the takeoff once we've got clearance, no hesitation. So add power steadily, 1, 2, 3, but in one action, and then just use the rudder to maintain the center line until you start to lift around 60 knots. So for your airfield, there will be prescribed procedures. You need to maintain the runway heading as long as you're required to. It's about 1.5 miles, and then make a turn as agreed and authorized by air traffic control. In Harden in particular, there are noise abatement procedures that restrict where and how you can make the turn to avoid irritating the local residents. So you remember when we're exiting the climb, first in this case is attitude, push forward on the yoke, hold the yoke in a level stable flight. The aircraft will really try to push back, allow the speed to increase, and once you're at cruising speed, maintain at that speed, reduce the power back to 2300 and then trim for level flight. So now we're going to enter a descent procedure. So car beat on, power back to idle, hold back on the attitude until the speed bleeds off to 70 knots, and then progressively allow the aircraft to settle into the descent before trimming for that stable descent. So now we're descending. As we enter the descent, car beat off, about 200 feet before the bottom of the descent. And as we approach the bottom of the descent, around 10% before, then we want to add the power, allow the aircraft to fly into level flight, so power to cruise speed 2300, and then once you're in stable flight, trim. So a left hand turn now, really good look out first to make sure there's no traffic. Bank to the left, balance that equally with the left hand rudder, and back pressure to avoid losing altitude as you lose the wing lift on the turn. So now we enter a descending turn, so car beat on, power to idle, hold back on the yoke until you reach 70 knots. And then as you progressively enter the descent, you also make the turn to the right. Keep your eye on the attitude in the instruments to maintain 70 knots as you do the turning descent. So we just need to watch out around 200 feet before the bottom of the descent. Carb heat goes to off. We're still continuing the turn because we want to level out on a particular heading. 10% below the bottom of the descent, power goes to cruise 2300, and then in one motion we can level out of the turn and enter level flight before trimming. And then finally a climbing turn, so power to full, carpet off, we pull into the turn, so dashboard on the horizon and left hand turn, the same process, maintaining and allowing it to settle into the 70 knot climb. Okay, that's all I've got for you in this video. If you liked it, please like it. Subscribe if you want to be notified when further videos are uploaded, and leave any comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll catch you next time.